Hey, beautifuls and beloveds, this is part 3, so we're going to try to keep this to a 3-part series for you. Okay, so we're talking about the hair, right? Brittle. Let's just say the hamster's smart enough to test all the products first before they use them completely. Because the doctor in their clinic taught them how to do that.
It sounds like the bad guys just hope that people are going to be lazy.
And stupid. Now let's just also talk about the environment outside the cage. Say the hamster, you know how kids press themselves up against the window and they lick it. Let's just say the hamster wants to do that to be goofy, right?
Yes. Well, hamsters do that too.
Yeah, they do. They're so cute. And let's just say by doing that, they get a glimpse of the outside world and they're like, I thought the sky was blue. What's going on? It looks awfully smoky. But there's no fires. It's not fog. Because it's not laying down low enough into the atmosphere. What is all that white stuff? And so the hamster chews its way out again. And that white foggy stuff, whatever it is chalky. And it gets on their beautiful coat, you know, their beautiful hair coat, and they were inhaling it, not intentionally. And the hamster is like, wow, when I left my little home, I wasn't swollen. Now I'm getting kind of pudgy. I didn't just eat. I didn't have any chocolate because they never give it to me. I'm not eating sweets. I'm not eating anything that's more than just regular, you know, lettuce, vegetables, and Lord knows that I'm on this hamster wheel all the time, so I'm getting plenty of exercise. So what's going on? So then these people put the hamster back into the hamster home and plug it up again. And then they notice after being inside the hamster home, their weight falls away. They didn't change anything. So then the hamster starts deducing, every time I go outside, this happens. What's outside that's new? What's this white crap in the air? Interesting, isn't it?
Slow breakdown of discovery.
Now let's just say, since we're all hamsters on this hamster wheel, that more and more people understand because they're doing the same thing we are. That, my friends, is called a revolt. You know, let's say the hamster is starting to get traction and a lot of people are visiting the hamster's social media platforms, but the social media is also part of this, and they don't want the hamster to think that they're getting all this viewership. Because that would only encourage the hamster to keep talking. So part of the control mechanism and psychological attack would be to make the hamster think that nobody's watching anything. So hopefully the hamster will give up. And maybe that whole thing would make the hamster suicidal. And the hamster, I don't know what the hamster would do.
Supposedly.
Get on the hamster wheel and work itself out to death? I mean, really, was it?
Well, hamster, yeah, that is about what you would expect.
Let's get real. The hamster ain't gonna kill itself. A, it's stupid. B, it knows it's right.
Yes, that is true.
Sorry.
It's fine.
Okay, so now we have a smart hamster, and all hamsters are smart. Sometimes they just need to be shown a couple things or two. So, that's all. So then, my friends, what happens to this entity? Well, eventually, it's just gonna crumble. Why? Because nothing that wicked and evil can stand. I don't care if you believe in God or not. No skin off of my belief system, you know. I don't care. You'll see. A warning to everybody in command here. Do the right thing. Get on the right side of this issue. And no, I don't want to be on the bad guy's side. I don't want to be on the bad guys' side so that you turn me against the good guys. You see what I'm saying? Obviously, I know that this is all bad.
Yes.
Obviously, considering of what has been happening of late, the bad guys really are as bad as I thought they were.
Yeah.
Why? Because of their display of their behavior. I'm like, you're not on my side. You will pretend to be on my side just to have me on your side. And then once you get me on your side, the unmasking of the narcissist will happen and you will stab me in the back and betray me. Don't think I don't know that. So, kiss off. Oh, let's get back to how the hamster tries to communicate with people. This is hilarious. Okay, so the hamster is with its handy dandy little mobile phone. You didn't know that hamsters had mobile phones, did you?
No, I'm learning a lot about hamsters tonight. So
They're very amazing little creatures. We love them.
I've heard this sing and dance too.
Yeah. So this hamster is calling people on a mobile phone. It's not the hamster's mobile phone, mind you, but this entity thinks it is for some reason. The hamster didn't sign any contracts, so it's not held to anything. And by law, and by their stupid interpretation and misinterpretation of the law, they're thinking that, if somebody, like the owner, signs the rights away for himself, he's signing the rights away for everybody else. That is highly illegal, by the way. Can't be done. If anybody is doing that, they are really screwed. If anybody is doing anything that we've been discussing and talking about, they're really screwed. None of it's legal, but they just hope that they can throw things to the wall and it'll stick. You know? As in, don't fight back. As in, wow, I really hope that they're partaking in that legal marijuana, so they're, hey, I'm chill, man. Hey, they got injured, let's give them some medication so they're really chill. And, maybe they'll have a side effect. Side effect. Please. I think I'm better off just feeling my pain.
Mm-hmm.
And using older type things to work through it. I'd rather feel my pain and be alive than take all these weird things and maybe not be so well off, you know? Look, hey guys, I didn't make this up. You read those pamphlets with all these medications. Listen to the advertisements on TV. What are you guys doing? Seriously.
Yeah. It's another one.
Another one. I'm
So-
so glad we're catching
So the
this.
cars stop and now it's helicopters.
Oh, we'll call about that too. They're such strange humans.
Yes.
It's like the cookie jar and the 2-year-old. You can't have that cookie, and then you move the cookie jar over here. You can't have that cookie, you know, no matter where you move it, because the kid's thinking, well, you didn't tell me I couldn't have the cookie if you moved it in each of these places until after.
So in this case, you can't have cars, so they say, have a helicopter.
Just tell them we're going to record all of this and give it to Trump. That'll get him to stop.
How do they know we haven't done that already?
Do tell.
Yes.
Okay, so what was I saying? The little mobile phone that the little hamster has. And then it calls up, and either the calls are getting routed to a call-in center controlled by the entity, or the entity has their people in all of these places. Either one is plausible, and we know this because the FBI has a whole list of stuff on their website, what corporate espionage is all about, guys. And we've had all of it done to us. So, like I said, you know, it's very plausible. And then they might want to talk to the hamster, and they start being rude and making fun of the hamster, or they try to say, wait, if I understand you correctly now, this office wouldn't handle that type of thing. You know, it's a backpedaling room where they can lie by omission. And if you send something in physically, they'll say, well, you never said that to me on the phone, not realizing that the hamster is smarter than that and has recorded their end, their words. for reference. And they had a hamster friend taking dictation or notes of what the caller or the person on the other end was saying, you know?
Yeah.
All this kind of stuff. There are ways, legal too. So it's very interesting. It's all a mind. That's all it is. I just gave him the bird. I'm trying so hard not to swear. You know what? I should just be myself.
That's fine.
That's all it is. They're trying to manipulate, and it's not for the hamster's benefit. It's for their own benefit. Like I said, it's not like giving somebody a gift and saying thank you and remaining not anonymous, but saying it's from me because I like you, because I appreciate you. You know, it's a beautiful, friendly etiquette, even proper etiquette gesture for when somebody does something for you, that you do that. Anyway, I find it very interesting.
Indeed.
Sorry, I'm playing my little heart. It has a hole in it. Isn't that cute?
Yeah, I see that.
Magic tricks. Oh my, isn't that interesting? So we just wanted to share that with you. Now, let's just say this hamster loves watching the show Heart to Heart. I'm going to give up this analogy. I just want to tell you something. So we watched the last episode of Heart to Heart on the disc, and it was really interesting because we went to this one video store, and we like it actually, but they had all of these videos like at our different eye levels, but mostly mine facing out. You know, you can face a video like this, stack them like this, or you can face them out like that, and you can see the cover. The ones that we were supposed to see were facing out, so we could see the cover. That's how we found so many things, too. I was like, I didn't even know about this.
Yeah.
Thank you, whoever did that. We really appreciate you for doing that. I don't know who you are. So it was really interesting. So we've been getting stuff. And, yeah. Been very interesting. So anyway, we found, or you found, who found that?
I thought I found the place. Or are you talking about the actual?
Well, both.
Well, I found the building. You found that little.
The video.
Yeah.
The thing, and so it was one of my boss's shows, and I was like, oh, okay. I remember, you know, nostalgic feeling, and you know, he was my boss, and I thought, oh, you know, cool. Let's get it, right?
Yeah.
It wasn't that expensive. So we get it, and we're watching it, and we're having a hoot of a time. Because, I mean, let's face it, that show is so funny, and it was sweet and romantic. It was what it was. Aaron Spelling used to call it, he knew he had fast food, and it was just for light consumption. It wasn't for heavy-duty content. Although, you know, his show, I think it was Family, he did that too. That was pretty good. He had some really good shows, and Heart to Heart occasionally had some really deep content in it, no matter how goofy it got. But as a kid, it was just like, I was watching it because it's like, oh, I want to find a husband like that. Oh my God, I wasn't even meaning to be serious, but I ended up with a husband like that. Oh,
Well,
right, doesn't he come across like that? It's so funny.
Yeah. Came along with all the problems that came with it, apparently, too.
Apparently, because the Hearts would lose people left and right. If you were a best friend of the Hearts, you could just kiss yourself goodbye. So you were either the intended target, or you were targeting them, the Hearts, you know.
Anyone who watched the show knows that.
Yeah.
That little joke.
It was hilarious, and so I was very, very smart. Obviously, you can tell just by listening to what I'm telling you about what happened to me. Oh my God, I don't mean that to sound egotistical. I'm getting a little tired, and it came out wrong. But I was very intelligent even as a child, so I was writing screenplays in amazing structure, and I was really good, no kidding, and a dancer and all of these things that I did. I excelled in everything I did, and I wrote my first screenplay and it was looked at and read, and that's probably why I got hired. I was a teenager when I worked for him, and I was still young, and anyway, as I think, so we watched the last episode of Heart to Heart. Why I've talked enough. Why don't you share?
Okay, so just explain what we saw.
Yeah. Be careful, but
Okay, so the show,
Sorry.
the last episode on the season finale episode, it was about.
and the last one ever
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. The last episode. I'm sorry. Yeah.
of this show,
Of the yeah.
not just of the season.
Yes, I'm trying to
Oh,
say
okay.
that. So it was about bad guys snuck into their house, and they were going to have people impersonate the Hearts. They're going to invite a politician over, and basically somehow steal jewels and stuff, and destroy everything to cover it up.
It was pretty intense.
Yeah, but then the Hearts came back home late.
Early.
Early. I'm sorry, early. And this bad guy got confused and thought those were the actors he hired to impersonate them.
Yeah, but they got there before the impersonators did, and they're like,
Mhm.
"Oh, well, you'll do," not knowing it was really them.
Yeah, that was hilarious, that episode.
We should watch it again tonight.
Oh.
It was really good.
Yeah. Those last couple episodes were pretty funny.
Yeah, but can I tell some more?
Go.
Okay, so we're writing this stuff down because we're like, and looking at each other. I'd never watched too much of that last season because, I was so into boys, I think, at that time, and growing up and writing screenplays. And I'm like, oh, let me just get to this. That I don't remember that episode at all.
Mhm.
I don't remember like half the season.
Yeah.
And I watched his shows religiously. I could tell you who was directing, who was writing, who was shared by each shows because he was working with Goldberg and then Kramer, and I could tell you everything. I knew his whole troupe very well. So anyway, it was really amazing because I was like, let's just see if there are any hints in here because he was pretty masterful himself.
Yeah.
And he always told me, he's like, "Hun, you need to protect yourself and you need to protect your work." Not just my screenwriting, but he meant everything about me. He knew I was quite fascinating. I thought he was fascinating, actually. But,
So it's a big compliment coming from him.
Oh, yeah. We need to put that quote up on the website.
Oh, okay.
I'm not kidding. Because he did say it to me.
Oh, yeah.
I might still have that card that he...
Oh, cool.
He sent me pistachio ice cream after we went to the ABT event.
That's
I
right.
took your dad. That's where we met Arnold Schwarzenegger, and everybody in the world was there. And I did I could do calligraphy, and I did the calligraphy for the envelopes because they were, elongated tickets, and I had to do the envelope. Oh, I had so much fun. That was great. Anyway, so in the show, the episode, we were seeing all of these things, and it's ringing a bell because, the hamster would run into different characters outside, because this entity would inject them to see how they would react, to get more content. Everything was about creating more content. And then we were seeing these things like the actors impostoring the real people, or trying to, and we're kind of experiencing something like that. And then there's actually a company that uses this method purposefully to handle the shift breaks with their cast members. They like to not only, it's not as important to make whatever their cast members look like the character they're portraying, but that each one from shift to shift and day to day look like very similar and built very similar. So when I saw that episode, I'm like, that's really interesting. I was like, you don't think that was like a little hint there, to let people who had insight know what was going on. And then, they had a senator there, and this guy looked like Newt Gingrich, didn't he? A younger version.
Yeah.
And, I was like, what is this? I didn't know who Newt Gingrich was when I was a kid. I barely know who he is now. I'm not into this politics stuff at all. So, but I noticed that, and I was like, and you just kind of think about it a little bit, and you don't think that much, but...
Well, in an episode that was about finding impersonator actors for real life people...
And then we're starting to think about all these people that we've run into. And there was one where I had an article on me, and I think that they cast that, because there were several people mentioned in the article. I think they cast people after the fact. So in other words, they really weren't real sources. I was a real source, but these other people, some of them weren't. And then they're like, you know what, we have an idea, let's inject this. And
if they need someone to fit the source, they get the person.
They find somebody, whoever they want to prop up and lift up, and Okay, what else was in that episode that was really kind of weird? I don't remember it that much.
Let's go through it. There was...
senator thing. Oh, right. The senator kept saying things, and I'm not saying Newt Gingrich did this. Oh my God. I don't know anything about the guy, but I'm just saying he looked like him, a younger version of him. But the senator character was saying, would you take a little donation? Or, oh, no, wait. It was...
What do you think about... I think that's what you
said. What do you think about... senators getting corporate donations or something like that.
I think it was very close to that.
Yeah, because it was a hint to, Mr. Hart to donate some of his money to his campaign or something like that. And I'm like, you're not supposed to do that.
Yeah.
Not like that.
No, it's usually the other way around.
Yeah, it was very weird. And, so we're thinking the wheels are turning. And I'm like, no, you don't think. Because my boss warned me. He warned me. Mm-hmm. He told me some things, and I'm like, holy cow. And so now I'm thinking, you don't think he was just like going for broke, in a sense, that's a term, saying like, you know what, this is the last show. What does it matter? Screw it. Let's just do what we need to do, and,
Probably.
And I looked at who wrote that last one, and I think he was one of the more original writers.
So he brought the person back that he knew.
Yeah, well, you can see, like, that whole last season was whack. I mean, the show was whack already, but in a good way.
It went back and forth between this new weird thing that wasn't really the show.
Yeah.
And then it went back and forth between what it used to be originally.
Yeah, just fun, tongue-in-cheek with no hidden messages and not trying to be some weird drama.
And this last one was a combination of both of it.
It was actually pretty good. And, yeah. So anyway, it was really interesting. And then I'm noticing similarities of things that I was working on as a writer. And I'm like, holy cow, what is going on here? And it was very telling. So we've noticed this kind of trend, and that was on ABC. And he got away from ABC. I think he was just fulfilling his contracts. Mm-hmm. Like I said, I worked for him, so I know some things, and this is just a guess, and wanting to get away from whatever, and then he went to Fox. Yeah. And he did all that, 90210, and
that
Melrose Place, all of that, yeah.
Those all got rebooted, I think.
I don't know why they do that. Yeah. It was great the first time around, but whatever. So, and then I'm like, wow, didn't they get bought out by somebody? And,
Mm-hmm.
I have credits on some of the episodes. I don't know which name it's under, but yeah. Because I worked in production. I was like, they called it production secretary or production administrator. 1, 2, there's like 3 levels. Mm. Assistant to the writer, assistant to,
Yeah.
I better have it. I had to sign a paper for that.
Yeah. We could always check.
Yeah. But none of those contracts are transferable. Meaning, if an entity buys those episodes or something like that, they can't transfer my signature onto another document for another project and say, here. It doesn't work that way. That's very not. That's lawsuit time.
Yeah.
So that's not legal to do at all. So it's very interesting to see what's
About 4 minutes.
4 minutes. That's going to be a part 4. But you got to wonder. And it happened this way for many TV series that I noticed that were on that station. They went through a period like Laverne and Shirley, when they moved to Burbank. I'm like, why? It wasn't broken. Why do this? Whatever the reasons are, there are reasons that are out there. But we noticed that the characters were very mean to each other, and it wasn't even funny anymore.
Yeah.
And so much changed, and I'm like, oh no. It seemed like it happened that way. It's like anytime that entity took over, supposedly, that franchise was ruined. You know? So I don't know, maybe Mr. Spelling was just trying to, leave on a good note before it was totally decimated.
Maybe.
I don't know. I do know a lot, though. There's some things I cannot share. But...
Yeah.
I find that that's public knowledge, so it doesn't matter. But, yeah. Okay, well, maybe we can wrap this up now. Or do a new series, but I think we're good.
Yes.
So, the hamster bites, the hamster's pissed off.
The hamster watches TV.
And found everything out. The hamster watches TV. That's funny.
Apparently. That's what I learned.
Oh, God bless it. So, beautifuls and beloveds, I hope you enjoyed our little hamster tale. Maybe we could call this the hamster tale.
Okay.
I don't know. Might as well roll with their stupid hint drop.
Yep.
Demoralize them a little bit and say, we know what you're trying to do. SOL. So, Mr. President Trump, thank you. And, we're taking everything in stride. But, don't be too slow in... Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was our little story too, and I think that's what we're going to do next.
Okay.
Yeah?
Yes.
All right, well, thank you for joining me.
Oh, of course.
So fun. I know we're all in pain. We're rocking. That's why we rock. If you see us rocking like this, guys, it's because we're trying to shift the pressure and the pain from the accidents. It really helps. I know it looks obnoxious, but we love you. Bye.